Really loved it, and I think you guys will additional thoughts that I wanted to share while I was on that panel. I'll do it in this video. So let's start the clip, and we will take it from watch.
Here on the Faulkner Focus, February is an American History Month celebration.
We know it's a lot going on with all the cheating and the lying and the stealing and the grifting and the but this election coming up, I am going to have me and my family go and change our status to independence. Because right now we are looking at, we have chaos on both sides. We just had some Democrats to give the okay for this madman and his administration and these warmongers to go around killing young children. And they're going to say we are supporting the enemy because we don't want to see people killed. So if you are a black conservative, I feel sorry for you. Conservatives, most conservatives are business owners. And or have a lot of money. Now, and probably grew up in a white neighborhood, went to an all white school, went to the Navy Academy and all that. They've been indoctrinated to the lowest level. Because they know they need some black people to help them get over the top. Look at her. This is what a black woman looks like who supports a racist. She don't mind this administration is trying to erase black history or killing black children. And she wakes up every morning. I think she has somebody else look in the mirror for her because she's not looking in the mirror. No, we already know Black men are going through some things. Um, yes, for the last past 100 years, Black men have been treated so bad that they have felt the need to stop being Black. That's their only alternative. Now, men identify with others who look like them, a natural inclination, since selfishness seems basic in men's nature. As Hobbes would contend, the selfish part of a man's nature makes it impossible for him to take the life of another man, with two exceptions: mental derangement, at least temporarily, tantamount to a capability for suicide, or a psychic conditioning that dehumanizes, removes the natural self identity from the projected victim. Once these contradictions from ourselves were accepted, however, tentatively, the rest was easy. We were then prepared psychologically to wage war without mercy almost. There were racial exceptions based on degrees of contradictions. Thus, the atomic bomb hit the Japanese twice, but never the Germans or Italians. Also, U.S. citizens placed in concentration camps were of Japanese ancestry, not German or Italian. Racial contradictions, greatly simplified and magnified by stark racial differences, accompanied Black slaves to America, but they were not taken for granted. Slave traders and slave masters, with severance efforts from the outset, magnified and cemented every possible distinction. Language was both a crucial psychological tactile factor. At penalty of death, slaves were neither permitted to speak their own language nor master the language of their captors. So, why are these Black men supporting a slave master? Because that's all they are. By the same illogic, the explanation for the war against Blacks here at home is that the Negro slave's legacy, alleged low IQ. They are supporting a man that calls his Black sisters low IQ and all the other terrible things that he say. They're supporting not only a racist, but also a criminal, an accused rapist, and now a pedophile. How do they do that? How do they wake up in the morning and go by their merry way, knowing they allege that Black people are more poor, educated, high ranks of immorality? They are putting all of their attributes on us. They the one that came over there raping women and children. They the one that came over there starving people, killing them, enslaving them. And they want to call us immoral. But these are the men, these men are the ones that support that. These Black voters need to be studied, because this should never ever happen again to anybody, ever again. The criminal mentality, they call us criminals when every last one of them are criminals. clemency for drugs, rape, robbery, and murder. Account for the need for new laws and military tactics to put down insurrections. They put an insurrection in our lifetime. They want to support a man that caused an insurrection. Say that. They love to say that. That is a talking point that has been going on for a long time. The Democrats, they are taking the black vote for granted. They don't ever tell the truth. That's what they do. That's them in court saying that the rape victim was at fault because she shouldn't have dressed like that. You know what the problem is? We don't want to be truthful with ourselves. We're not out here helping our community get better, our family life get better, because we suckers. We want to keep playing the victim. It ain't even about pulling up yourself with your bootstraps. It ain't even about going out there getting rich. It's about living a decent, respectful life. And doing what our obligations are. I have seen men sit around drinking and talking mess while all this garbage is all around them. Why they won't clean up their neighborhood? Oh, that's the way, that's their job. Stupid. Why we won't tell the truth? That most of 98% of the black men living now and in the past 30 years are dumb as hell and lazy. And scared little boys. That's why they need big guns. Big guns. That's why they go out there and kill each other, because they scared of their own shadow. And you know why? Because we have let the white man teach our children, raise our children, because we sit up there and let our children look at TV and go to these schools and be taught by these white people. And most of all, we mess up our kids by the way we raise them. I actually have seen men out there with their children around a bunch of gangbangers and garbage. And we get mad over stupid stuff. We need to start living for our children. Now, this man's going to say, she's going to say, they tired of the Democrats taking their. So I'm going to support a racist. Maybe the racist will make my life better. See, they don't say black woman. They would vote for her because she's not a criminal. She's not a racist. She's not ignorant. She didn't commit a crime. She wasn't raping people. She wasn't accused of pedophile. And she didn't have felony counts against her. She wasn't going back and forth to court. She has been in the government for a long time, so she knows how it operates. That's why they would have voted for her, not because she was a black woman. And this is coming out of a black woman's mouth. Okay? Now, they didn't do nothing, absolutely nothing. Okay, in the New York Times, they thought that the black voters are going to come home. Oh, wow, they making it sound really like come home. Now look at him. Look what's going on. Black people are smart. White people are so jealous of black people that it makes them crazy. Because they know we could do everything that they can do and better. They can't do everything we can do. And it makes them crazy. That's why they need money to keep us in servitude. They will vote for her regardless because she's a black woman, not because she's smart. And that's what and see, I blame everything. I blame all of this on the education system. They are making our children dumb and dumber. Now, you know all this stuff that's going on, and they willing us in with these YouTubes and all these videos instead of reading. If you want to learn something, get a book. It's in a book. The truth is in a book. That's why books cost so damn much. That's why when you go to a school, you only can get access to certain books. And you know what education does? It makes you think. It makes you live a better life. And what we should be talking about is why our children are out there killing each other. Why are our children out there being killed by their parents? And why is it still racism in the schools? That our kids, 2026 kids are experiencing prejudice and having these ignorant ass white people say stupid stuff like, oh, they too stupid to know they in a bad school. But instead of getting mad and getting upset, come on now. Come on. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. That's why you supporting a president who raped children. Okay? Look at that. And they said, and she said that he took no vote for granted. This is on Fox News. Trump thanks Black and Hispanic voters for his support. Now what he doing? He are terrorizing these blacks and Hispanics all over the country. You supporting a man. Now we all knew, and while this was going on, we all knew he was accused of rape. He buried his wife on his golf course just to save some money. Why do he need so much money? He's old. His kids are grown. Why do he need so much money? It's not even about the money. It's his ego. All his wishes come true. Remember when he said he killed drug dealers? Well, now he's killing them. Now he's killed drug dealers. And he's also let drug dealers go. Now he's starting a war. And he wanted that peace prize, Nobel Peace Prize so bad. And you know what? This is bad. This is bad because we are taking too much time away from raising our children and making sure our family is safe and secure and happy. We need to be we need to stop this but I just want to comment on this. This is crazy. This is totally insane. One minute we African Americans, the next minute we black, the black. Okay, we'd have been, I guess, niggers. I guess then colored. I cannot understand how they got colored from when you look at a white person and they blue and red and pink. Okay. Then we went to Negro. Then we went to African American. Then we're black. And see, that's what's wrong with our kids now. They don't know what they are. Our kids are so confused and so miserable that they are growing up to support a racist, a bona fide criminal racist. Why? Why do they do it? Because they're not being fed the truth. They go to school, all they see is white people in the books. They look on TV, they wake up in the morning, all they see is white people on the news. Only time they hear about black people is some kind of welfare, criminal. And all they talk about is slavery. And then we have this been going on for how long, 100 years or whatever, this Black History Month, which I think is a damn shame that we put ourselves in that position where we got to take out a month for Black history. It should be Black Nationalist Month. where we exert our power now, not on history, because all of us is going to be history. And as far as I'm concerned, it's really, they don't uh, put too much emphasis on the positive, not enough. And they're not teaching these families how to be black and powerful, be a black nation. Because I heard this one guy, he was a young black man, and he said, "We're not African no more. Yet when y'all took us, brought us over here, we became something else. You took away our roots. You raped our mothers and made these mulattoes. You took away our language, our culture. So now a lot of us don't know what we are. That's why we have to become a black nation. We have to be brand new. And but see, our kids are caught between Negro and colored, and then they came up with this stuff about, oh, you can't say the N word, the N word. But these young people, that's all they do is call each other niggas. So why are we getting upset because somebody called us a nigga? Because it came out of another race mouth? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. White people are niggas too. They are the worst. They are the worst. But we need to start having, if you go into a black family's home, how much blackness do you see in that house? Are they being a family? Are they sitting down, reading together, eating together, making plans together, uh, discussing world affairs? I know I did. I know we didn't. And we definitely need to keep, I always say this, a young family, they got kids, they should get rid of that TV. Really. It should not be a TV in the house till that child is at least 5, 6 years old. That TV is a destroyer. And the way these kids are losing their life and their life being altered because of these phones. A lot of these girls and boys lost their virginity because of this phone, because they could make plans on this phone, and parents will never know. And we are living in a world of attitudes and opinions, and it is all wrapped up in comments. I have had comments. I have had to. I, but see, that words don't bother me. Name calling, that don't bother me. You could call me everything, anything. I don't have to listen to that. Oh, this is. Oh, let's hear some more live. Oh, Trying to take away. Trying to take away those slavery memorials and try to, uh, and then going to close the Medgar Evers museum and all that stuff because these black conservatives don't want to hear about the slave. But here you is, the biggest slave as a, the biggest house slave that there ever was. These people are so stupid. That helped people that could not help themselves. What about the ones that had became unable to work or work for their children to be able to support their children? I mean, lost their job, which is easy to do because they will fire a black person faster. And these kids, and they was working these low paying jobs. Food was getting higher and higher. They had to go buy these cars that would break down anytime. So then they had to go and take the bus. So that meant they had to leave earlier. They had to, and then they had to pay for childcare. And it's easy for them to become a victim of crime. And what if they get hurt and can't work? You could tell these Fox viewers and who thought Jim Crow years was the best, like that Brian Daniels. You know, say, "Oh, we did good during Jim Crow because we had family values, we had a good economy." And what did they do? Burnt it down, raped our children. And most of the time, they got more money on the welfare than they did to go out and work. And then every time they try to get ahead, they push them back 2 steps. Just like when I was working, when I was going to school, the welfare was paying for my child care. Clinton came in and stopped paying for child care while women went to school. How are you going to get a good job if you don't go to school? I didn't have no family members that watch my children or friends. So this is all I'm going to say. We see right now, we are listening. They are, what do you call it? They're just eating their own vomit, irritating old talking points among each other. And then, every now and then they'll swoop somebody into their cesspool.